Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, a Democrat, might run for the nomination in 2028. Some Democrats talk about that, and he's trying to emerge as one of the notable, visible critics of President Trump.
With the new tariffs that are already put in place by President Trump and the ones that he has proposed, the cost of everyday goods like tomatoes and beef and beer is likely to rise.
He tried to burnish that image a little bit with taking this shot at the president during his State of the Union address, that is to say, Pritzker.
Veterans are turning against Trump in record numbers, and Governor Pritzker just explained exactly why. While the orange crybaby brags about his supposed accomplishments, real veterans feel completely abandoned by his empty promises. Pritzker didn't pull any punches, showing how Trump's policies directly hit your wallet while he handed out tax breaks to billionaires. "We know who this guy is," Pritzker declared, and his evidence has Republicans running for cover. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. Do you remember when Trump, dressed sternly, stepped on his campaign stage and promised an immediate and miraculous reduction in food prices?
Chaos, retribution, and disarray radiated from the White House the last time Donald Trump occupied it. And I'm here today to remind people that no matter the storm that we face, Illinois will always strive to make you welcome and safe and protected. Perhaps this time may be different. But if it isn't, Illinois will remain a place of stability and competent governance.
It seems that was almost as authentic as his actual hair color. Everyone, listen up. Governor Pritzker just exposed this massive fraud. Throughout his campaign, Trump maintained his claim that America needed a superhero to combat inflation. He said that low-income families would assume they had stepped into 1995 when they walked into grocery stores and saw the pricing. He said that on day one, he was going to bring down prices for people across America, said Pritzker. If you elect Trump, as he has essentially promised, the stock market will see a miraculous recovery. What transpired then? Quite the contrary. In fact, rather of going down, your grocery bill is going up at a rate greater than Trump's explanations. Truth check. We've seen prices at the grocery store going up. Pritzker didn't hold back in revealing this, not merely going up a notch, but soaring as a result of Trump's astute decision to impose enormous 25% tariffs on common goods that Americans truly require. We'll explain how Trump's tariff tantrum is impacting your bank account. Salad, please. Canadian tomatoes and lettuce are subject to tariffs of 25%, so that will cost you more. After a long day, do you want a cold beer? Those aluminum cans just went up in price significantly.
Despite his threats to healthcare coverage and educational opportunity and a fair minimum wage, Illinois will continue to invest in the well-being and prosperity of our people. Through his repeated attacks on workers and women, on immigrants and people with disabilities, and our LGBTQ plus community, Illinois has remained a place where rights are protected. Donald Trump will be our next president. He won the election, and we must all be willing to work together for the common good.
With barley costs skyrocketing, even your morning cereal is feeling the pinch. We are not talking about frivolous things here. Rather, we are talking about essentials that every family needs. And here's the worst part. All the time your entire shopping basket is going up in price, Trump is busy giving out huge tax advantages to his millionaire friends, who are likely having breakfast of gold-plated caviar. Ripping the poor to feed the rich is the same idea, only with more hoops to jump through. Who is bearing the brunt of the crushing? These were the same middle-class and lower-class families that had faith in Trump's support. These are the people who are already counting their pennies and trying to figure out if they have enough money to buy milk and bread this week. Their minds are racing as they stand in the aisles of the grocery store, trying to calculate whether they will have enough money for dinner this evening. Without sugarcoating it, Pritzker said that Trump is taking money from people who are suffering, people who are just trying to get by, and giving that money to, again, the wealthiest and the biggest corporations. Nothing could be more simple than that. A new yacht is in the works for Trump's country club cronies, while regular people are selecting which dinners to cut out. But you know what? Voters from working-class backgrounds who saw Trump as their savior are now beginning to see how they were used as pawns. People pay attention when a politician's campaign pledge, "I'll make groceries affordable again," is broken, and people can't even afford to feed their family. The wealth of Trump's supporters is vanishing at the rate of a plugged bathtub.
In months ahead, we should all be focused on the peaceful transition of power, even if Donald Trump didn't afford that to his successor. We enshrined reproductive rights and other healthcare protections into the state constitution via the Reproductive Health Act to protect women from his Supreme Court's extreme anti-choice agenda. But we also must be focused on the defense of our entire Constitution, not just the parts that demand the peaceful transfer of power. While I was certainly surprised by Tuesday's results, I was not unprepared.
The calculations are straightforward. No amount of Make America Great Again caps will alleviate the financial burden that comes with having 4 children when your monthly shopping cost skyrockets by hundreds of dollars due to tariffs on staple commodities. The American people who put their faith in Trump to protect them financially are the true targets of his economic shell game. The fact that Trump's carefully constructed image as the champion of the forgotten guy is utterly destroyed by this treachery is what makes it so remarkable. Do you recall all those rallies where he asserted his support for the underdog? At the same time, he's putting policies in place that enrich the wealthy at the expense of regular people who aren't exactly saving money by clipping coupons. As a result of Trump's unfulfilled promises, guess who else is getting screwed? Those same veterans he professed to revere. Governor Pritzker just revealed a bombshell regarding the real situation facing our warriors while Trump was occupied with photo ops using military props and flags. Those heartfelt campaign rallies where Trump embraced the flag like a cherished stuffed animal and pledged to protect our courageous service members, do you remember them? That, it seems, was as real as his fake tan. Veteran homelessness is a real problem in the United States, says Governor Pritzker, who claims that veterans aren't getting the kind of services and help that they need to get shelter over their heads. Yes, I understand. After putting their lives on the line for our nation, the same individual who couldn't stop gushing over the military now clearly doesn't care enough to ensure that they have a place to sleep. Taking photos of yourself with other people's pets on Instagram is like telling your closest friend you'll care their dog while they're gone, only to abandon the poor animal in the rain.
Illinois will continue to be a refuge for those whose rights are being denied elsewhere: women seeking reproductive health care, immigrants searching to work hard for a better life. We will continue to advance a positive, productive, and inclusive agenda of our own, one that brings opportunity to Illinois. Over the years ahead, we'll do more than just protect against the possible reversion to an agenda that threatens to take us backward.
However, our veterans are not the only ones who have been betrayed. During his rallies, Trump referred to the forgotten men and women about 8 billion times, and he portrayed himself as the savior of American workers. As for working parents, Pritzker admits that they are forced to choose between keeping their jobs or taking care of their children due to Trump's cuts to Head Start programs. According to Pritzker, the uncertainty that was created has led many parents to wonder whether they can even keep their jobs because they no longer have a place that they can rely upon to take their child. Envision yourself as a single parent who backed Trump on the promise of a better life, only to learn that your childcare options have been drastically reduced or eliminated. Making America great again isn't going to happen with that. It will lead to American unemployment. This is where things take a turn for the worst. Republicans are battling tooth and claw to keep wages down, while Trump's policies are making parents choose between job and family. Without sugarcoating it, Pritzker said, Republicans want lower wages. Democrats, meanwhile, have been demanding a $15 per hour minimum wage increase so that people can actually afford to live. Wait a minute. I got conned by a reality TV host with weird hair is a natural reaction from Trump's deceived former followers when they consider their depleted bank accounts, their struggling veteran friends, and their terrible childcare situations. Those who formerly sported MAGA hats with pride are now spearheading what Pritzker calls a gathering storm against Donald Trump. These are not only arbitrary points of Democratic rhetoric, these are the tangible effects that are affecting Trump's most ardent supporters. Veterans who honored him as their chief executive are now unable to get even the most fundamental benefits. No longer will he be able to ease the burden of finding child care for parents who had hoped he would. As he does the inverse, workers who thought he would advocate for higher salaries stand by and watch. Imagine ordering what you thought would be a delicious steak meal, but instead getting a dish of chili hot dogs. The only difference is that the hot dogs embarrassed your mother and somehow drained your bank account. The approval ratings of Trump among these demographics have plummeted since the ship hit the iceberg. This treachery stands out because it shows how far Trump has strayed from his promises. After treating veterans with the reverence they deserve, he abandons them to the streets. In spite of his professed sympathy for working families, he makes childcare desserts a reality. He claims to support higher salaries but is actually working to keep them low. What is the outcome? Someone has finally had enough of the damaging policies and empty promises, and their followers are fleeing in droves. Rather than being apathetic Democrats, these individuals have come to see that Trump used them as pawns in his political game. Even more concerning than Trump's domestic gaffes is the matter of his allegiances abroad, which has left his former followers feeling deceived. Asking directly what many intelligence officials have been quietly murmuring behind closed doors, Governor Pritzker questioned bluntly, "What does Putin have on you, Donald?" After years of witnessing Trump's intimate relationship with the Russian tyrant, this wasn't merely political theater, it was the question that needed to be asked. Like discarded Big Mac containers in the Oval Office trash can, the evidence of Trump's odd obsession with Putin continues to pile up. The president has lately said that the Ukrainian forces are nicely encircled and that he and Putin must save them. That is, in fact, Russian propaganda, if it sounds at all familiar. Trump has been aggressively voting against resolutions denouncing Russia's unlawful invasion of Ukraine, and Pritzker has pointed out that he has been distributing Putin talking points about it. This goes beyond a simple political difference. It constitutes a basic betrayal of American principles and national security concerns. With regard to Trump, Governor Pritzker stated, "Literally changed our alliances, entirely switching sides." Indeed, the former head of state has shifted his support from Democratic allies to authoritarian regimes at a rate faster than he can dissolve his own marriages. A personal stake is high for Pritzker in this betrayal. "I am an American of Ukrainian descent," he said. "I have to say my family escaped being killed in Ukraine by Russians." Seeing the President of the United States essentially agree to serve as Putin's personal public relations agent while your family flees from brutal persecution is indescribable. Having the big bad wolf watch over your grandma's house is the closest thing to it. No one can deny the pattern. Trump has been busy writing love letters to despots that reject all that America stands for, all the while ignoring long-standing friends like Western Europe and Canada. Pritzker bitterly observed, "We now are made enemies of our friends." Trump's foreign policy stance is as steady and predictable as a toddler's disposition, following a day without naps. Having a former president repeating Kremlin talking lines is embarrassing, but that isn't what makes this situation so hazardous. It's the grave danger this represents to world peace and American preeminence. It sends a strong message to autocrats around the globe when the head of the world's most powerful democracy repeatedly attacks NATO, supports Putin, and wonders why the United States should protect allies like Ukraine. The consequences are terrifying. As he pointed out, if you're willing to hand the keys to Europe over to Vladimir Putin, what's next? Could Trump be offered a big hotel contract by China, rendering Taiwan expendable? Would he be willing to betray South Korea in exchange for some flattery from Kim Jong-un? Given that the former president has demonstrated a readiness to forsake American interests in favor of dictatorial approbation, these problems are not theoretical. What we are seeing here is the most egregious abuse of American leadership in global affairs that the world has ever seen. Over many years, leaders from both parties in the Oval Office have consistently stood in solidarity with democracies and opposed totalitarian governments. By praising autocrats and deriding democratically elected officials who dared to oppose him, Trump has turned this bipartisan agreement upside down. Worryingly, Pritzker's direct question, "What does Putin have on Trump?" remains unanswered. Could it be the leverage that Trump's corporate enterprise has built up over the years thanks to the influx of Russian money? Was it compromat during his trips to Moscow? Or is it just that Trump looks up to Putin's autocratic leadership style and wishes he could adopt it for the United States? All the Democratic alarm bells should be ringing if we even have to pose this question about a previous president, regardless of the response. The crux of the situation is Pritzker's dilemma. With his detrimental policies and broken promises, Trump has betrayed more than just his domestic supporters. Because he has always put Putin's interests ahead of ours, he may have betrayed American national security. In his pursuit of becoming Putin's most valuable asset, Trump has done everything from undermine NATO to cast doubt on the necessity of defending allies, from applauding Putin's invasion as genius to spreading Russian disinformation. In short, he has given up on America's role as a leader of the free world.